Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. It is the middle of the night, and I've awoken from sleep feeling not the best, I'll be honest. I have been trying very vigilantly to do less and less videos about narcissistic abuse because it's a topic that I want to move on from. I want to focus on the awakening, on the healing journey, and put the past behind me. If you're new to my channel and you don't know my story, there is a narcissistic abuse playlist. And if you happen to find yourself in the situation where you are either in or escaping from a narcissistic partner or parent, please feel free to hop on into that playlist. You'll find a lot of content in there to assist you in identifying certain characteristics of narcissistic abuse, as well as identify ways in which you will be needing to escape. My own story, for those that have been following me, has been difficult for me to escape from a narcissistic marriage. It took an exceptionally long period of time, and I suppose maybe I'm triggered because know that I'm coming up to my 3rd year anniversary when I finally had the strength to ask for a divorce. I had tried many times over the years to separate, to ask to go our separate ways. Each time I was put through another cycle of future faking and false promises and hoovering and breadcrumbing and all those lovely energies. So in the last 3 years, it took me an additional 8 or so months to get him out of the house. It took me an additional year or less than almost a year before, while he was hoovering me intensely, at which point I received a confession that, like literally broke my brain. I went through a stage of denial, which is humiliating for me in that period where I just was in total la-la land. And then when reality hit hard, it took even another 10 months before I went to the police. So it's been a very, the last 3 years has been a really difficult process. It'll be February 19th will be the date when I've gone a full year with absolutely zero contact, and the last time being, a Zoom call to get divorce papers organized. So I'm coming up on many anniversaries, and I guess with that, I'm a little bit triggered today. And I wanted to talk about the shared fantasy that is one of the ways in which they manipulate you. So in so doing, let me first backtrack and talk about another discovery that I've become aware of in the last few months, which is because when you're recovering from this type of abuse, you go healing is cyclical, it's not linear, and you go deeper and deeper and deeper into awareness in waves that come and boggle your mind, or unboggle it, I suppose is more to the point. And one thing that I had noticed in my marriage, and I've noticed since, because now I'm hypervigilant and constantly on the lookout for people to show any signs of narcissistic abuse. I get highly triggered if somebody gaslights or minimizes or any of the characteristics. And as I said, I have a playlist of narcissistic traits and communication styles. Please check that out. It's useful information. But one thing that wasn't on that list is intrusive questioning. Maybe because I'm autistic or particularly, or at least was particularly trusting, I used to come from the philosophy that people must be like me. That I was naturally good and coming from a place of integrity, and I just took for granted, and that was my gullibility. I've been very gullible in my life, more times than I can count. I was very gullible to make the assumption that people were coming from a good place and coming from honor and integrity, because I was coming from an honor and integrity place. And what I have noticed is a trait that I haven't talked about, is this intrusive questioning. When somebody is constantly asking you questions, where I previously took that as an example that somebody was interested in you. That's not actually the case. What it is fact-finding, because with the information accumulated, they can use that very much against you. And it's not a direct hit of how things are used against you. It's very manipulative in nature. So in asking lots of questions about, your childhood or your wounds or how you get on with your parents or things you like or things you don't like, it used to feel like I was you could put a bright light in my face and I was being drilled by the CIA or something, because the questioning was just constant about everything, every little nuanced thing. And I mistook that as care and interest. So now I'm on the lookout for excessive and inappropriate questions, especially from people that don't know me, when they, get all up in my grill and start asking things that are inappropriate and crossing boundaries. Those types of questions are a huge flag to me now. And what is done with the information from this intel gathering is they can create what's known as the shared fantasy. Now, this isn't my term. This term is used by a lot of the narcissistic coaches and specialists here on YouTube. And, it's common for somebody who's going through that initial, what is happening? What is going on in this relationship? Is this relationship healthy? Is this person narcissistic? What is happening? Because there's so much confusion when you're in a state of cognitive dissonance, not understanding, because the mind is split in two. On the one side, you're like, this isn't appropriate behavior. This feels off. This feels wrong. I'm not happy. But on the other hand, there's these moments where they do these super nice things and they must just be struggling, and I feel sorry for them and I can help them. And, maybe it's their upbringing and they're so vulnerable, and which is, the key of covert narcissism is this energy of vulnerability that they present. You never the wiser that it's all a manipulation. It's all make-believe. None of it is real. Absolutely none of it is real. So this shared fantasy concept is 100% right on the mark. They accumulate as much information from you as possible, and so are able to spoon feed you exactly the thing that you crave most. In understanding your childhood and your childhood wounds, they're able to concoct this bubble of providing you with one or two things that is for you like crack cocaine. In my case, it was validation, and it was also providing me almost with like a nurturance energy, because my mother lacked any capacity to nurture me whatsoever. And I did a video just the other day, just a little mini reel of showing, hey, reparent yourself and this and that. And that's something that they would have been able to do. It's very easy to create chaos and then present an idea that I'm providing you with the calm. I'm the salve. I'm the solution to the chaos, to the problem that actually I created. So there'll be a chaotic situation and you'll get emotional because it's always about eliciting emotional responses. And so with me, it was like the stress response of getting highly triggered into anxiety. And, oh, you're in anxiety now? Oh, it's okay. I'll soothe you. I'll comfort you. I'll provide for you. So they're feeding you the hit. You get a hit of what it is that you need most because of your childhood wounds. So they've spent a long period of time acquiring information to see the ends, so that they can create this shared fantasy. And so in my case, this shared fantasy was this person, I honestly believed that this person had integrity and had honor, because that's how they presented themselves to them. And even though there was all this like things that were incongruent, I wrote those off as being, oh, they're struggling. They had a difficult childhood. They had a different upbringing. So then they elicit my empathy. And then on top of that, they know exactly how to get in to manipulate you. And it's all lies. Like everything is a lie. It's a concocted reality. So, by providing you with that 20 minutes or even an hour of spoon feeding you validation, or spoon feeding you nurturance, or spoon feeding you care, I almost even look at it like a weird version of Munchausen's by proxy. I don't know if you're familiar with that, where a parent purposefully gets their kids sick in order to take care of them. And there was like some of that weird element at play too, where in the nurturance would be providing me things that would make me fatter and would make me more unhealthy and would make me numbed, as opposed to trying to facilitate me into getting healthy and getting well. And it was a steady decline, because if you look at my 4 photos before I got married, I was physically fit. I was out climbing and hiking. I have a picture of me climbing Crowpatrick in Ireland, and I'm in great shape and in a good place in my 30s. And over the course of the marriage, my health declined steadily, like very, very quickly, very fast, because the amount of stress, and my body knew what my mind didn't. So be forewarned that, as Dr. Ramani puts it, narcissistic abuse has real definitive effects on your physical health and well-being. And so mine was a steady decline down into, I can't even look at those pictures of where I was 5-6 years ago, how sick I was, how depressed I was, how numbed out I was on pharmaceuticals and everything else, because the sicker I got, the more freedom he got. And so I could see that I was unhappy, and I would try to get out, and then there would be another cycle of future faking, as in, I'm going to try, you're right, I should step up more, I should help more, you've got a lot on, and you're doing everything, and I need to step into this more. And so they spoon feed you more and more bullshit to keep you hooked and locked into a system of utter fucking insanity. So I wanted you to be aware, because if you take the time to look at when it's good, what is being served for you to keep you in the marriage, because or relationship. If you start to think, I can't leave this person because, how am I going to cope on my own? Or I can't leave this person because, they validate me and make me feel better, or they're my go-to. I ask them everything, he became my solitary person, slowly edging out everyone else of the shared fantasy, through triangulation. There's this process of isolating you more and more into a tight little bubble. And I had at that point, lost contact with, almost everyone in the shared people. So he could come and go as he pleased to all these different people, all his friends that he went to, because he had successfully created a triangulation, reactionary abuse, misinformation from one person to the next to create conflict between. So God knows what he's telling them all about me. But I'm sure it's full of poppycock. So when you break the shared fantasy, because he extends that fantasy out into his outer realm, others are going to also receive misinformation, manipulation. And so there becomes, to free yourself, it was necessary for me to lose everybody. Absolutely everybody that was left, any remaining people that were left, any shared contacts that were left, because they became flying monkeys. Even my friends, I had friends, and it was getting weirder and weirder, because all of a sudden my friends or my people would be defending him or encouraging me to get back with him, or saying, it's clear he loves you, and because he'd get in their ears. As I said, I even had an acupuncturist at one point, because I was in such a bad way that he was assisting me in taking me to medical appointments. And he got in the ear of an acupuncturist that I went to, and all of a sudden she's saying to me, I really hope you two get back together. I was like, that's a really weird thing to say. So I guess today's video is really about sharing these awarenesses that I have about intrusive questioning. Please be on a lookout for that. If you feel like you're just being bombarded with questions, and that the questions are sometimes a little too invasive and a little too personal in nature, that's a huge flag. Also be vigilant to be aware of what it is in your relationships that people are providing you. If there's I like this, but I don't like this kind of energy in your interactions, even with friends or something, where it's not consistent. It's sometimes, if you're saying, I don't like this and that, but they provide me with something. sit in that energy and figure out what it is that people, because even in friendships, I've been like, okay, well, they're not doing this and they're not doing that, and that's a little bit irritating, but they do this. If they're feeding you something that is, that's a shared fantasy. That's not real, reciprocal, genuine energy. And so I'm on a lookout for that as well. Is, if there's inconsistencies in the energy. And then, of course, be on the lookout when others get in your ear, propping that person up, or kind of trying to convince you to stay with them or be with them or get back together with them. Those are examples of flying monkeys, where they've managed to get in the ear of somebody else, convince them of their version of this concocted reality. And that's not reality, because, when you stripped reality away, the person that I created in my mind's eye of who I thought they were wasn't who they were at all. Like everything, every last memory, everything was a lie. It wasn't real. It wasn't based on any reality, because if it had been based on reality, they would have said from the get-go, I don't love you. Because, well, that's what they said, is that they never loved me. They were in love with somebody else the entire marriage, but they weren't available. So I was the backup plan, I suppose, or I was some sort of, I don't even know. I don't even know. It's sick. It's sick. It's I pray for them to, I have prayed over and over, because, I want God to save their soul. Because I can't even fathom how much karma that is that one accumulates to be in an energy where you've been manipulating somebody for over a decade, trying to triangulate them against their own child. Like they're like raging and triangulating, and reactionary abuse and financial abuse. You're racking up quite a karmic debt there. So I pray for their soul. I pray for the souls of all individuals that have had whatever traumatic situation happen in their own life, that instead of going down the path where you say, I know what it's like to be hurt, so I never want to see anyone else hurt, which is the path that I chose, in many of us empaths choose, of, I'm going to try doubly hard to make sure that nobody feels the way I felt. And instead choose the path of, I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. I'm going to do what I want so I can get what I want, and I pray for the souls of those individuals, because that's a dark path to have lived. And where I differ from a lot of the narcissistic experts that say, there's no hope for these people. Maybe that is true in a regular society, but we're in the midst of a mass awakening. And if God can come in and turn me around and save me, and make me do 180 on so many things in my own life, then God can pretty much do anything. And if you don't like the word God, then creator, source, the divine. So I have no doubt that there will be individuals that are awakening into the reality that they've done really hurtful, harmful things to people, and now need to atone for that. And there's more to atoning than just saying sorry to somebody there is change in behavior required. There's no such thing as I can just go to the priest on Friday and say I sinned, and then on Monday go sin again and keep doing it again. You actually have to atone. You have to change. You have to be different. You have to show up different, and you have to do the shadow work, and you have to do the inner child work, and you have to do all of that. And so what I'm hoping to see in society, more than anything, is the start of a healing movement amongst men. I'd love to see more healing circles and almost like a narcissist recovery program. And I'm not just saying men are narcissists, but I'm saying that men have a lack of the same degree of healing support networks available to them than women do. Women have been kind of on a healing buzz since the 80s. Oprah kind of opened culture up, and she appealed to a lot of feminine energy of saying, you can heal your life, you can do this, you can do that. And all kinds of women's circles would prop up in your communities, and yoga centers and this and that. So there's been a support, there's been a place for women to go and to share and to commune together and to heal together. And I would love to see in the future more masculines stepping up and saying, hey, listen, let's have a man's talking circle, or let's have a group that identifies some toxic behaviors that maybe we've been in. And I would love to see that in the future of assisting the masculines in how they've shown up in relationships so that they can heal and step into their own divinity. I talk a lot about the twin flame journey, and that's all about the path of leading oneself home to divinity, and there's the term divine feminine. And was I divine before? Oh, hell no. I was certainly not in the energy of a divine feminine. And in learning to kind of balance my masculine feminine energies, I'm learning to step into my own divinity and hold space for myself where my inner masculine can protect and create a safe bubble, while my inner feminine can do her healing work. And so it's a balancing of those energies so that I can consider myself to be a divine feminine. And for the masculines out there that have either experienced abuse or have been the abuser, and equally so for women's that have, found themselves being in abusive energy. I know lots of men that have been abused, and I've worked with some, and it's a difficult path. So either side of it, we need more supports in society to help facilitate healing from narcissistic abuse, so you can learn to be safe again, because that's the biggest thing that they steal from you. They steal your sense of safety, your sense of security in the world, your sense of reality, because when everything that you believe to be true is dumped on the ground and proven to be not true, and this person was the person you trusted more than anything, your ability to trust it's PTSD inducing, because you don't know up from down. Everything's kind of confusing and scary and overwhelming, and how could I not see this? So you then start questioning yourself, and so there's a lot of healing required to get over. Escaping from narcissism isn't just about the day you walk out the door, hey, I'm hunky-dory now. Oh my God, no. The recovery has been equally, if not more so, difficult than the escape. The escape required, as I said, masculine energy. It took action-oriented energy of being very vigilant to get myself physically fit, get myself sober, do one thing after another so that I was had the mental prowess to be able to escape, and the physical capability to be able to escape. So that's why I lost 130 pounds. I cured my diabetes. I cured all these diseases because I was like, if my body's not in good enough shape, I'm not going to be able to survive. If my emotions aren't going to be in good enough shape, I'm not going to be able to survive. So I'm having this Kundalini awakening, and at the same time I'm like, go, 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 go. You know, I treated myself on a mission like I was Rocky Balboa, and I had to do this. You know, these were the energies that I was like, I have to do this. I have to escape. And then you escape, and you're presented with a whole new set of challenges that I could not have anticipated at all, that requires a lot more of your feminine energy, of processing emotions, of resting. Oh my God, the exhaustion, of the confusion, of the processing through the grief, the pain, the sorrow, the absolute, just, it leaves you in wreckage. Absolute wreckage. And so the last 10 months have been totally dedicated to trying to regulate my nervous system and learn to feel safe in the world again, which has been exceptionally difficult. So if you are recovering from a narcissistic abusive relationship, do be aware that it takes time. It takes a lot of time. That's why Dr. Ramani recommends always taking a minimum of a year to be on your own before even contemplating dating. And it's been over a year for me now, by about 2 months. I went officially no contact. I guess it would be 15 months ago. And I'm still like, no. Until I'm able to be like calm, sure-footed again in the world, I'm not putting myself in a position to be vulnerable to anyone. Absolutely not. That's just a hard no. As well as when you give yourself the time to be on your own, you're learning to provide yourself with those things that person at one point spoon-fed you. And when you learn to give yourself those things, nobody can come in and create another shared fantasy of, I'm going to give you the validation, I'm going to give you the nurturance. Learn to give all that shit to yourself. Learn to love your fuck out of yourself so much that nobody can come in and use your insecurities and your wounds against you. Because I think that's probably the most insidious, evil thing any human can do, is to take your wounds and manipulate you through them. That's sick. That's really sick. So as I said, I pray that this sickness is removed from society. I pray that individuals that behave in this kind of manner learn through their own awakening. And listen, my dark night of the soul was brutal, and facing my own shadow was hard enough when I've, as I said, I did a video just a couple days ago being, having to face my flaws. I'm not perfect. I've certainly not lived my life perfect, but I've never gone out of my way to hurt anyone intentionally. Absolutely not. So I can't even fathom how difficult a healing process it would be to know the damage and the wreckage that you've done to others. And there has to be salvation. There has to be. If humanity has any hope of getting itself back into, a better energy for everyone, so that the world can be a safe place for everyone, that energy needs to be expelled from humanity. It needs to be exposed. It needs to be atoned. It needs to be rectified. It needs to be altered, healed, changed. And the only one that can do it is spirit, the divine. You can't heal a narcissist. You can't, if I'm saying, if you're an empath out there and you think, if I just love them enough, maybe they'll see the error of their ways. No, that's going to be an inside job requiring a lot of healing. And, I know there are good counselors out there that would be trained to deal with this. And I hope that people find the healing they need, because my guess is that all people that have behaved in narcissistic ways aren't narcissists. They aren't completely consumed by evil. There is a spectrum. So there is hope as long as you see that you've done wrong. And hell, there's even a few individuals that are on YouTube and things like that say, I'm a narcissist. I'm diagnosed with narcissism, and I'm here to help you, help the planet. And that's a means of atonement. They're trying to rectify their ways by exposing the truth to others, so that others don't fall victim. So there are ways that people can heal, but that's not really my job. My job is to heal me, and your job is to heal you, and their job is to heal them. The mission is to save oneself, not save others. Support others, yes, and I offer my love and support to anyone out there that is escaping from narcissistic abuse or recovering. Those are two different discernible phases. And if you need help with either of those phases, and you need help identifying whether it is or not that you're with a narcissist at this point, I know all the markers. I never thought I would be a narcissist expert, but my God, I see this shit like there's no tomorrow now. It's like the veil has been completely lifted, and that once very vulnerable and very gullible woman doesn't exist anymore. Now I see more than I ever thought I wanted to see. That's for sure. You can't unsee once you see. So if you want to book a one-on-one with me to discuss either of those, you certainly can. Feel free to reach out. All of my services are by donation. Thank you very much for the likes, shares, and the subscriptions. I greatly appreciate all the support that I receive on this channel. I wouldn't be here without you guys, and it means the absolute world to me. And I'm sending you all my absolute love. Peace out.